Welcome back to the DNA, guys. Before we are starting this DNA, I want all of you to look at this video.
They end up in places they shouldn't be, long way from the ocean.
These penguins are all heading to the open water to the right. But one of them caught our eye, the one in the center. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
You know, life often places us on a path where we pause and ask ourselves just one question. Why? Why am I here? Why is this so hard? Why does this journey feel so lonely sometimes? But understand this. Every meaningful journey begins with uncertainty. So, walking alone doesn't mean you're weak. It means you are brave to listen to your inner voice. Okay, so some journeys are like silent, but they're powerful. Some efforts go unnoticed, but they're building something, extraordinary things in you. So when someone asks or doubts you that why are you still here, why is it still going? Okay, let your answer be simple. Okay, because quitting won't make a better story. So keep walking, keep believing. So the answer will come, and when they do, you will realize that this journey made you stronger than ever you imagined. Okay, with this beautiful understanding of life and this journey, we'll start the today's session. Here are the few topics which I have taken from the past 2 days of the news articles also. Okay, that is 150 years of Vande Mataram at the Republic Day parade. Okay, and 131 personalities with Padma awards, the second article. The third one is antibiotics fails. Okay, which leads to the fight against the Superbugs. And the fourth one, the US exit affects the Solar Alliance. Okay. And the fifth one is India and EU seal the deal. So we'll discuss these articles one by one. Okay. The first article, that is the 150 years of Vande Mataram. Okay. Which is at the Republic Day, the journey of this national song, which is composed by the Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Okay. So we'll discuss about this in the historical way about this Vande Mataram. Okay. Now, first one, this Vande Mataram actually originally written in the Sanskritization form of Bengali language. Okay. For the first time in the magazine of Bangadarshan in 1875. So, and in later it is also included in 1882 in the Bankim Chandra's novel Anandamat. Okay, so obviously Britishers has banned this song to sing in publicly. Okay, in 1896 Rabindranath Tagore also sang this Vande Mataram. Okay, in the Kolkata session of INC, and it is also sung by the proclamation of provincial government of Azad Hind. Okay, in later words, in the 1905 Varanasi session in the INC, okay, of the INC, this song was made as was adopted for all India occasions. Okay, but first it was used as a political slogan in the same year. Okay, so because this sparking the Swadeshi and anti-partition movement in Bengal. Later in 1906, the Bipin Chandra Pal and Aurobindo Ghosh also started this English daily Vande Mataram. Okay, and later it is also became the major nationalist voice. In 1907, okay, in 1907, outside of India, this Vande Mataram, okay, Madam Bikaji Kama raised this tricolor flag. Okay, in that flag, it has written the word Vande Mataram. Okay, and the first two verses of this song, okay, is adopted in 1937 by the Congress Working Committee. And later in 1950, that is post-independence, the Constituent Assembly, this Vande Mataram has given the status of national song and the Janagana Mana became the national anthem. But in the Constitution does not explicitly mention this national song. But Article 51A, okay, asks the citizens to respect the Constitution, national flag and national anthem. Okay. So we'll discuss about the author of this national song also, that is Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Okay, he was a father of modern Bengali literature. Okay, his works like his essays and novels also shaped the modern Bengalis, okay, and early Indian nationalisms also. So he was also a member of a Brahmo Samaj. Yes. Okay, and his major works, we'll discuss about his major works, that is Anandamat, Durgeshna Nandini and Kapal Kundala and Devi Chaudrani. So these are all his major works which is also discussed. And in UPSC 2023, there was a question about the national anthem. So I want all of you to attend this question and put it in the comment box. Okay, next one. The most important article which is also came in the news, okay, on the Republic Day, the nation honored the 131 personalities with this Padma Awards. Okay, so I'll discuss about this. Unsung heroes are no longer unsung as a Padma celebrates creators and builders. That means the 88 years old retired IPS officer, okay, who pick up the garbages, okay, from the street of Chandigarh, okay, and a bus conductor who set up the world's largest free access library, and the pediatrician who trained the 2000 nurses, okay, and established the Asia's first human milk bank. And from the core area, that is Chhattisgarh, okay, a woman who set up the schools in the Naxal affected areas. So across the nation, they are chosen for the Padma Shri Awards. Okay, so we'll discuss about what is this Padma Awards. We'll go by the historical way. Okay, first one. There were two civil government in 1954. Government of India has constituted two civilian awards. One is Bharat Ratna and the another one is Padma Vibhushan. So this Padma Vibhushan, okay, classes, namely three classes. Okay, one is the Pehla Varg, Dusra Varg and Tisra Varg. And these three names, okay, renamed as a Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. Okay, we'll discuss about this Padma Awards. So this is the one of the highest civilian awards, okay, which is announced annually, okay, in the eve of Republic Day, excluding in these years, that is 1978, 79, 1993 to 97. Okay, so these awards are given by the Ministry of Home Affairs, announced by the Home Affairs. Okay, So these awards has 3 categories as I mentioned in the earlier, that is Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. Padma Vibhushan for the exceptional and distinguished service. Okay. And Padma Bhushans are distinguished service of the higher order. And Padma Shri, that is also a distinguished services. So these awards are given like to the person who recognize, who achieved in all the fields of activities, okay, where there are involvement in the public services. Okay. So these awards are conferred on the recommendation of Padma Award Committee. Okay. So this is constituted by the Prime Minister. So this committee is headed by the three people, that is Cabinet Secretary, okay, Home Secretary and Secretary of the President. Okay. Now, so this recommendation, okay, are submitted to the Prime Minister and approved by the President. Okay. So the nomination process is open to all, that is to the public also, and self-nomination is also can be made. Okay. So all the persons, okay, irrespective of the race, caste, occupation, position, sex are eligible for these awards. Okay. And the most important point is also all the peoples are included, but government servants, okay, including the those who are working under the PSUs, okay, are not eligible to these awards except doctors and scientists. Okay. Normally, no conferred posthumously. Posthumously, that means a person who are not alive, but on the certain exceptional or extraordinary circumstances, these awards are given. Okay. So as I mentioned in the earlier, that this award is presented by the President in the month of March or April in every year. Okay. When we are discussing about this Padma Awards, we'll also come to know the one more important civilian award, that is Bharat Ratna, which is the highest civilian award of the country. Okay. But it is different from the Padma Awards. How? Because the recommendation, okay, the recommendation for the Bharat Ratna are made by the President. So there is no committee or no formal recommendation for these awards. For the Bharat Ratnas are necessary. Okay. So it is directly recommendation by the President to the, by the Prime Minister to the President. Okay. So in the yearly, there are maximum number of 3 Bharat Ratna awards are given. Okay. And till now, only 53 people have been conferred these awards. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next article. Okay. Now, as antibiotic fails, okay, AIIMS leads the fighting against a superbug. So, as we all know that this AMR, that is antimicrobial resistance, is transferring this infectious diseases, diagnosis and treatment. So, we need to focus on the faster detection, okay, and better surveillance. Okay. So, PM Modi has also highlighted that antibiotics are failing to treat the basic like a common infections like pneumonia, UTI, okay, due to the resistance. So, we'll discuss about this antibiotic, okay. So, we'll discuss about this article, okay. Now, in this context, we'll discuss the antimicrobial resistance and superbugs. So, before we understand what is this superbugs, I'll tell you in a simple manner, okay. Just imagine 20 years ago, a simple mosquito or a mosquito coil or a mat, okay, was enough to kill a mosquito or just to chase them away. But today, you can even run a liquid vapor, okay, like in a high or a turbo mode, but still the mosquitoes are still flying around. Why? The mosquitoes didn't change the species, okay. So, the weak one died years ago and the one who survived, okay, learned how to, tolerate and how that creates a super mosquitoes, Okay, and they are immune to the older weapons. So this antimicrobial resistance is also exactly the same, including like with bacteria inside the body. Like how when you misuse the antibiotics, okay, when you kill the weak bacteria, but you teach the stronger ones, okay, how to survive. So we'll discuss about this antimicrobial resistance. What is this? What is this antimicrobial resistance? That is, it occurs when microorganisms like fungi, bacteria, virus, all those evolve and stop responding, okay, to the medicines, okay, that were once effective in treating them. Okay, this results to emergence of the superbugs. See, the superbugs means a pathogen, okay, that are resistant to multiple drugs and making standard treatments ineffective, and it is also risk to the spread of others. Okay, this is the exact meaning of antimicrobial resistance. We'll discuss this about this antimicrobial resistance. It is actually a natural evolutionary process, okay, but later human activity has accelerated it dangerously. So this microbes develops resistance, okay, through 4 mechanisms. How it is microbial resistance? I'll tell you. I think there will be an image. Yes. Okay, this is there are 4 mechanisms which enters. First is limited intake. That means the outer shell. That means it's change its cell, okay, cell wall to prevent entering the drug. Okay, so it changes the shell. The first one, that is limited intake. Second one, okay, target modification, which means there is a microbes, or just imagine there is a proteins, which is the microbes alter the specific proteins or a molecule, okay, the drugs which is supposed to attack, but the drug is no longer to bind to it, which is also target modification. It is called target modification. Okay, and the third one is efflux pump. I'll tell you what is this. Which means that is it is push. It's like not push. It's like physically spitting the drug. Okay, it spits the drug out. Okay, before it damaging the microbes. So it's spitting out. Spit the drug. We can say this term. And the fourth one, last one, that is drug inactivation. Okay, it is means that it produces, this microbe produces enzymes, okay, like beta lactamases, okay, that chemically destroy or neutralize these drugs. When it enters, it neutralizes because it produces the enzymes. Okay, so these are all the 4 mechanisms, okay, which develops to resist. Yes. So as I said, these are all the 4 mechanisms. We'll discuss how this is crisis for India. Okay, that means how this causes. What is the causes? That is factors fueling the growing AMR. Okay, first one, overuse and misuse of antibiotics. As we all know that we are taking we are often prescribed for viral infections, and we are taking without completing the full course also we are taking. So we are misusing these antibiotics. Okay. Second one, easy over the counter availability, which means we are consuming in an inappropriate way. Okay, that means we are self-medication. Without consulting the doctors and without having the prescriptions, we are consuming the medicines and antibiotics in an inappropriate way. Third one, poor infection control in healthcare centers. That is, we have a weak hospital steep wards and overcrowding, inadequate sanitations, which is also promotes the spread of resistance. Okay, and antibiotic use in agriculture and livestock. That means we are the extensive use of growth promotion and disease prevention. Okay, which is also transfer the resistant bacteria to the human, and which is why we are through food chain is also it is affecting on us. Okay, environmental contamination, which means it is discharge from the pharmaceutical plants, hospitals, untreated sewages, which is also create a resistant hotspots. Now, limited surveillance and public awareness. We are insufficient of monitoring and we are less aware. Okay, which is also early detection and response to this antimicrobial resistance. Okay, so what is the threat? Okay, we'll discuss one by one. The threat by this antimicrobial resistance. Economic threats, trade and export loss. Okay, that means the other countries, okay, are demanding the like antibiotic free, okay, free products, free things, like antibiotic free things, which is poultry and livestock sectors also in a high risk in the global market. Okay. Second one, escalating healthcare cost, which means our longer hospital stays and isolation care costly. So, which is also raises the out of the pocket public health expenditure. Okay, it is quite expensive way. Now, productivity loss and GDP impact. So, when we are like prolonged taking leaves and like illness, okay, and our absence, which is also causes the demographic dividend. Okay, this is the economic threat. We'll discuss about the societal and public health. Okay, it means return to the pre-antibiotic eras, which means our routine surgeries and our therapies are become very high risk, okay, without effective antibiotics. Okay, and second one is high neonatal and infant mortality, which is also due to the ineffective antibiotics. Third one, rise of superbugs, which is leave very limited treatment option. Okay, and the last one is drug resistant TB burden. So, India is, I think, it has the world's highest MDR, TB burden. Okay, this is a societal and public health threat. We'll discuss about the environmental threat, which is pharmaceutical pollution, which is antibiotics are resistance from the manufacturing unit, which is a contaminate waters, bodies, which also a resistant bacteria, which also breeding grounds for the resistant bacteria. Second one, agriculture and livestock. As I mentioned in the earlier, that antibiotics used in the farm, which is entering in the soils and groundwaters, which is also entering into the humans via food chain and drinking water. Okay. So, to address these issues and threats, Indian government has started some initiatives. Okay, the first initiative, National Action Plan on AMR. Yes. So, which is launched, okay, for focus on the One Health surveillance. Yes. To prevent these infections, okay, and antimicrobial steepwords across the humans and as well as animal sectors also. The second one is India's first ever joint meeting, okay, of medical societies in India, which happened in the Chennai Declaration. And the one more declaration, which is in Delhi, which is the antimicrobial resistance, which is interministerial consensus. Okay, it is signed in the 2017 to combat this antimicrobial resistance through a holistic of One Health approach. And the third point is red line approach, red line campaign actually, which means the packets, that means we can say that antimicrobials, antibiotics to carry a red line, the antibiotics which carries a red line on the packaging, okay, which is a signal that they must not be sold or taken without the prescription, okay. And the last one, obviously government has banned this use of cholistic in animal feed, okay, which is also raising the threat of antimicrobial resistance. Now, the new initiative, which is also Schedule H1 implementation, okay, it is the legal amendment to the drug, okay, which and cosmetic rules that mandates a pharmacies to maintain a separate register for the antibiotics, okay. You need to have the separate registers, those who are, when you are selling or giving to maintaining these. So, you need to keep the register for it. And ICMR's also antimicrobial surveillance network. It is also a system, okay, like collecting and analyzing all these reports like data from the tertiary care hospitals, care hospitals across the India, okay. So, this is one more PYQ, okay, which came in the year of 2019. I want all of you to attend this and put it in the comment box. And the next article, which is how will the US exit, which affects the Solar Alliance, okay. So, let's discuss. Yes, so that is US government announced its decision to withdraw from 66 international organizations, including the major climate platforms also. In that, one is International Solar Alliance, okay, which is led by the India and France. So, we will discuss about this International Solar Alliance, okay. So, this International Solar Alliance, which is led by India and France, okay, in 2015, it has launched in the UN Climate Change Conference, COP21, okay. It is the first international and intergovernmental organization. We have more than 120 signatories and all the UN members are now eligible to join this ISA. Okay. Now, countries, those do not fall within the tropics, okay, they can also join, but they are restricted to the voting rights. I mean, they can't, there are exceptions of their voting rights, they can't vote it, okay. Now, the UN General Assembly also grant observatory status to this ISA. So, this ISA has, you know, towards 1000 strategy. I'll tell you one by one. The first one is 1000 billion of investments in the solar energy, okay. And the second one is first one is 1000 billions of investments, and the second one is to deliver 1000 million people, okay, to this clean energy solution. And the third one is to install the 1000 gigawatt of solar energy capacity. And the last one, to mitigate the tune of 1000 million tons of CO2 every year, okay. These are the 4000 strategies which is aimed by this ISA. Now, what is the impact of the US which is exit on this ISA? So, will it going to be an impact? Let's see. From the financial perspective, the impact is very less because US contribution is less, like 1%, okay, of the fund is hardly 1% of the total funding. So, but confidence matters in global economics. So, the US exit could affect the investor sentiments and their international cooperation in climate finance, okay. So, how does this has been impacted and how India is going to reflect on this. So, let's discuss about the implications for India's solar energy. So, the exit has no direct negative impact on the India's solar sector. Okay, so India does not rely on this. US for their solar panels, because we have a domestic manufacturing capacity. Okay, which is also expanded, and we also protects the solar based employments. But China dominates this solar manufacturing. Okay, so India's imported 1.7 billion worth of photovoltaic modules from China. So US exit does not increase the project cost or electric tariffs in India. Okay, so what is the impact on the other countries? Okay, like Africa or the poor countries where ISA are deeply engaged. So their impact is on the cheap international alliance. Okay, and their multilateral cooperation. So this could also affect the Indian companies. Okay, because they also wanted to expand their companies in the abroad. Now, while the US exit removes the powerful partners. Okay, so when the US has exit this removal of a powerful one, and the technical experts had leadership of the ISA remains with India only. So India is now having a greater responsibilities in sustained momentum. In the conclusion, we can come to know that solar power in India remains now affordable. Okay, projects are still secure and jobs are protected. But it is a bigger challenge, okay, for the global climate order. So where cooperation and finance becomes harder to mobilize. Now, compared to the past, India is better prepared. So economically, industrially and diplomatically, we can handle this kind of shift of the US also. Okay. Now, this is also one of the PYQ. Okay, I want all of you to attend all these PYQs and put it on the comment box, because these are all the important news articles. Okay, and now the last one, India and EU seal the deal. Okay, what is this deal? We'll come to know. So, India and the EU announced on Tuesday that they had reached a free trade agreement. I think everybody would have today's news also that only. Okay, which means they call it a new blueprint or mother of all deals, we can say. Okay. Okay, mother of all deals. Okay, which is going to be a strategic economic ties between these two countries. So we'll discuss about these things first. Okay, now first one is Joint India-EU Comprehensive Strategy Agenda. It is also known as mother of all deals. Okay, so this pact, once if it is ratified, okay, it eliminates the duty of the Indian exports, which is 99%. Okay, so including textiles, garments, jewels, everything, while it reduces the tariff, which is 97% of the EU goods, which is cars, wines. Okay, so these are all the, which is the big impact of the economy. Now, high impact Indian sectors, so which is going to be a textile, leather, gems. Okay, all these will not enter the EU duty free. So in Indian tariffs on the premium, Indian tariffs on the European luxury cars will drop from 110% to 10%. Okay, and duty premises wines will fall from 150% to 20 to 30%. So New Delhi and Brussels are negotiating on this high trade of, that is EU access for this automobiles and wines in return for the concession on India's labor intensive sectors. Okay, so for India, that is zero duty of labor intensive goods, okay, which is signed between these two countries, okay, will help to the role in the global supply chain. Now, we'll discuss that India will receive the same flexibility as the US on a EU's carbon tax, okay. So, the EU will commit that any flexibility or a concession granted to any other trading partner, okay, in the future it will automatically apply to India. I want all of you to just go through these boxes, okay, it will give you small glances about all the products and everything. Now, signing of these deals, okay, it will take at least 4 to 5 months, or probably it will applicable, like it is expected to be effect by next year, okay. It is also introduced a dedicated chapter of SMEs, okay, that is a rapid reaction mechanism to resolve this trade dispute, okay. We'll discuss about this India-EU framework for the cooperation and mobility. That means they have signed a mobility, okay, to aim that easing the movement of the students, workers and professional across 27 EU members countries, okay. So, this comes at a time when US is making H1B and other visa routes are very, for the citizens it's quite expensive and it is also very, strict. So, this first time European Legacy Gateway Office has been started, okay, established. It is one-step hub to provide the information and support for the movements of the workers and the students and for the ICT sectors also. Now, we'll discuss about the last one, that is India and the European Union Security and Defence Partnership. So, we'll discuss India is the first overarching defence pact between the India and, okay, India is the third Asian country with such an agreement. So, it means what is the defence pact, which means India-EU Defence Industry Forum allows Indian firms to participate in the EU SAFE program, okay, for their development and the production. And what about the operational security, which means their cooperation, okay, in these two countries, their cooperations between the maritime security and cyber and hybrid threats, space security and the counter-terrorism also, okay. And the last one, that means information sharing, that is both sides are negotiating a security of information agreement, okay, to facilitate the exchange of classified information. So, these are all the important articles of the today's DNA, okay. I want all of you to attend these PYQs and understand these things, okay. Thank you so much for the today's DNA.